Sure. A very good morning to all of you. I am Danya from Second Year Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, playing today's host. We have with us an exuberant personality with years of experience in learning and research, Dr. Vithyasaahar Sethumadhavan, to talk about his experience and tell us what higher education would actually be like in foreign countries. I am also happy to welcome our ever supporting faculty and all my friends. Dr. Vithyasaahar has worked in various institutions and contributed his knowledge to research. He is currently working as a researcher of organic and printed electronics in Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane, Australia. He has worked as a tutor and course developer of electronics engineering in University of South Australia from January 2019 to February of 2022. At G-Lab Innovations, IIT Guwahati, India, he had worked as an R&D consultant in printed and organic electronics between May 2017 and February 2018. When we look into his educational experience, Dr. Vithyasaahar has completed his doctoral studies in material science from the University of South Australia. He completed his master's in print and media technology from Technical University, Chemnitz, Germany. Finally, he's a Bachelor of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Kalasalingam University, India. Adding to all this, Dr. Vithyasaahar has 9 publications under various topics related to printed electronics, which are available in Google Scholar and ResearchGate. He has done several international conferences like Organic Electronics Association Munich, International Conference on Nanoscience and Nanotechnology, and the list goes on. His achievements are endless, but now I want to hand over the session to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Vithyasaahar Sethumadhavan, to share us his insightful thoughts. Welcome, sir, and please go ahead. So we can hear you. Please, you can start, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So good morning to everyone. It's really very glad to meet you all from abroad, and then because of the COVID pandemic and the other, the travel stuffs, we can able to connect through in online. So I'm happy to meet you everyone. And thanks to Dr. Prithya, because she was my course coordinator during my bachelor studies. And after that, I moved to a different background, like from electronics to material science. I will show you some products, why I have chosen that field. And this webinar is most related, it's an interactive session. I will show you I will share some information and how to move on to the next career and what are the availabilities, and how can we bridge our career with an industrial research perspective, because that's where my main focus is. So my main focus is actually to bridge the technology and the industry, where you can bridge the research and academia. So we'll start sharing the screen. So can you see my screen?
No, sir. No, sir. We can't.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. We can see a screen.
Okay. So just let me know, whether you can see the slideshow.
Yes, sir. We can see the screen. The slideshow, yes, sir. We can see it like a PPT.
So can you see a single slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So introduction is really to focus
Voice is not audible, sir. Your voice is not clearly audible. Can you please check your mic?
Slide move.
We apologize for the glitches. Guest will be back. Dr. Vithyasaahar will be back in a few minutes. Sir? Sir, am I audible?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Can you hear my voice? But I
Yes,
can't
sir.
see any of
Yes,
your
sir. We can
video.
hear you. We can hear you clearly, sir. We
Okay,
can't
that's
see you
good.
though, but we can hear you clearly.
Because I can't hear any. I can't see any of your video.
Sir, all of our videos are turned off, sir. Can you
Okay,
see
so
Dr. Preetya ma'am's video?
yes, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we'll just share the screen again. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Okay, that would be great. So as I already mentioned, this webinar is mainly focusing on how to choose the course as well as what are all the benefits if you take a master's in abroad, or like if you want to choose a career in computer science, or what I mean. Computer science is a big ocean, but I will point a very recent field, which is an emerging field, Internet of Things and data science, how they are going to bridge the big data and the data science with integration of materials or the electronics. Short introduction about myself. So I did my bachelor's in electronics and communication at Kalasaringam University, and then moved to Germany. Did my master's in printed electronics. So the printed electronics is a combination of both engineering and science. So I have chosen this course mainly to develop some new innovation. So we developed some innovative products which are available in the market. The first one I developed is a shoe insole, which you are seeing on the right hand side. So in which like you can able to monitor the foot pressure for the biomedical applications. So the beauty of the printed electronics is that you need to have three different engineering techniques. The first one is the design architecture, so in which like you will be having a material science, you have some innovative materials. And the second one is the electronics or the electrical engineering, where you monitor the pressure and the converting the pressure to voltage or some electrical parameters which you can able to measure. And the last one is the computer science, or I would say data integrity, in which we need to define those data in order to transmit the signals as well as in order to store the signals. And nowadays people are working on heaps of techniques with respect to data science. So I will go through some process as well as I will show you some web links, how to choose those things, and then like what are the courses available in the global world, because data science is a big technology and they have so many the recipes for the data science, which one is good for the future as well as what we need to do in order to achieve those the fruitful information. Later, I moved to industry as an R&D manager, as a research associate, and we developed a product called ACPAD. So ACPAD is again the combination of printed electronics, computer science, as well as the materials. So the beauty of ACPAD is actually an acoustical guitar, what we are normally using. But what we defined is that you can see the guitar in which like there is a pad which has some rings. So those are all the pressure sensors, and each and every pressure sensor will give you different pressure, and this pressure will convert it into voltage. The change in voltage again gives the music. So why we did this ACPAD is actually because we need to have an instrument which can able to give us the different musical information. For example, acoustical guitar, which gives an acoustic music. On top of that, you can able to play drums, piano, or like several musical instruments based on the pressure. And then we moved the similar product for developing a chemical sensor. And the last one is a pressure sensitive pad in order to define whether the egg is good or bad. So increase in weight gives it's a good egg, and decrease in weight, it's actually an if the eggs get spoiled, then the weight starts to reduce. So obviously you have a less pressure, then less voltage. So based on the parameters, we can able to define whether the eggs are good or bad. So we did this project for Venky's, some of the leading poultry farm in India. Later, I got an opportunity to do my PhD in the field of material science, where I developed a sensor which can monitor nitrate and nitrite levels in order to define, so many things. Like, for example, define the humidity of the soil or define the strength of the soil, as well as we can able to use these sensors for pregnant ladies, where the nitrate level needs to be monitored during the pregnancy. So that's the beauty of this technology, and I'm taking this technology into the next level based on the data science, where we can able to how can we integrate these data and how these data are going to help us to provide some fruitful information for various applications. For example, recently they have started using data science for American rugby as well as the tennis, Australian Open tennis. So they used to monitor the player, and then they can able to predict the outcome of the game. So that's one part. And another part is there's so many industrial applications, especially for automotive applications. Data science is playing a major role in terms of, like, for example, Germany and the Western countries, they have started, and in India, they are planning to integrate this data science. and it's having a very good future in terms of computer science based technologies. So currently I'm working on the flexible and stretchable electronics. So I moved from flexible to stretchable because we want to make it everything as a wearable in order to monitor the data from sports applications to biomedical to the to the agricultural applications. So before starting into the correct topic, like I just want to show you the world map where we are in India. What are all the opportunities and which country to be chosen? So I always would recommend first try to choose the English-speaking countries. So in terms of English-speaking countries, one is United Kingdom, another one is Australia, and the third one would be United States of America. So in this case, for example, if you choose, let's say, okay, you want to go to America, or the first question always would be, all the students need to consider why you want to do a master's. What is the reason behind? What are all the output? Because I don't want to give a guidance where everyone needs to do masters or everyone needs to do higher studies, because there are so many heaps of opportunities apart from the higher studies. But if you choose the higher studies, you will get heaps of skill sets which can able to monitor yourself for the next generation or for the future technologies. So as part of the digital world, I would recommend the United States is having more companies, as well as the European continent. I mean, the complete Europe, for example, Germany, France, Italy, and Belgium. So in those countries, they're actually focusing more on computer science technologies in terms of like Internet of Things for manufacturing the complete BMW car. So the recent trends for the Internet of Things mainly they're using the Internet of Things for automotive applications. The recent cars like i8, BMW i8, and then Benz S-Class series. So the engine is completely manufactured by the robots with the help of Internet of Things technology, because they want to make it everything as a robotical instrument or the robotical product, where you will have a less human error to achieve a very good quality product. So they're expecting the future technologies is going to be the bridging of Internet of Things and the data science, because in order to monitor the output of any applications, we need to use data, and data is actually a big market in the whole world. So as I know that you people are from the computer science background or the information technology background, whatever it is, so the data is the basic core value for information technology as well as the computer science technology. Okay, now before taking step into the higher studies, why we need to do, what benefits I'm gonna get if I do the higher studies. Okay, the first one, learn about yourself and become more self-aware. That's actually a very good point. I strongly suggest for all the students. The spoon feeding method is not at all good to learn for the future. Of course, like during your bachelor studies, you will be learning, nowadays it's changing, but some students, they still follow the spoon feeding technique. So in this case, like you will be having you want everything to learn what the staffs are giving. Like for example, the lecturer is saying is that, okay, read these two contents. Some of the students, they will just read the two paragraph contents. Actually, that shouldn't be the case. So for example, if someone is saying is that give some fruitful information about data science, so they need to tell a very good, they need to serve something more in Google, and then like they have to update the information to date. So, and then like they have to share the information. So that would be a very good outcome. And that's mainly based on the self-aware. So you need to learn about yourself and become more self-aware rather than focusing on the spoon feeding technique. The second one boost your self-confidence and independence. So this one is very, very important. Uh, First of all, I don't want to, separate men and women. So for both men and women, I will put them in the same scale where you need to have your own self-confidence. That's really important if you want to choose a career. It can be a study abroad, or it can be like on-site experience for the information technology jobs. So in this case, you need to boost your self-confidence as well as you need to be independent. So again, the another point is that if you are independent, you can able to learn more. And the third one, expand your worldview. So focus, keep a big focus rather than having a short focus. For example, if you're having some examination or you're done with your exam, focus more on expanding your network. So expand your worldview has more meaning. So I would recommend you to expand your network. For example, everyone is having a LinkedIn network, right? So LinkedIn is a very basic social platform where you can able to connect with a well-known, high quality people. For example, so many CEOs they are using LinkedIn, where they can able to provide more information in which like you can able to share, and with that conversation you might get an opportunity to work in a very good company. So that's all depends on your networking. And the fourth one, discover new things about your own culture. So this depends on the country which you are choosing, or this depends on the place which you are choosing. So wherever you work, you will learn a new culture, or you will be discovering something new based on your work tendency. So that's one good quality which you will be learning during your higher education or the future jobs. And learn other language. Oh, that's a very good thing. In my experience, I learned German as well as I really learned a very good English before heading to my master's. You will be learning a language, and learning language itself is a very good thing. You will be again starting with some very good networking. Once you have a very good networking, your career will be really very nice, I would say. Because in my case, to be honest, I never ever gave a single interview till my life after my bachelor studies. So all the jobs which I got, it was all meeting people and then sharing the contents and then some discussion, coffee chat, and then I got the job. So that's how I moved my career in a very easy way. And it all depends on your own self-confidence and independence. Right. So that is one part. What are the things which you will be getting, apart from education, you will be getting I would say it's a personality development. So you will see once you start your career in the higher education, so you will be having a very good personality development, which is really, really important for your life as well as your workplace. So that those information will give you a very good outline of work-life balancing, which is important for your own life. All right. The second part of this studies is strengthen adaptability, communications, and the team building skills. Yes. So, for example, when you're going to different parts of the country, you will be having different, you'll be having a different environment. So, in that case, you need to adapt yourself, and then for example, in any international countries, you will be having very, uh, for example, if you go abroad, you won't see only that country people. So you will be seeing some Africans, you'll be seeing some Americans, or some Europe, you'll be seeing some Italian people. So each and every one will have their own language. So in this case, you will get more information about learning some new languages. and also the people are from different countries. So in this case, like you can able to define some good team building skills. And the another thing is that enhance your career opportunities. So this is another path. So once you start knowing everyone and once you adapt yourself and you have very good communication skills with the team building skills, the next thing you will be having a very good career. So obviously the another door will open for you, enhance your career opportunities. So automatically you will be enhancing your careers. And the third one will be experiencing another culture firsthand and enhance your cross-cultural competency. So, for example, one student from India, one student from North India, one from southern part of India, another one will come from America, another one will come from, let's say, Europe. So in this case, like what you will be doing is that you will be getting a very good cross-culture competency. You will be learning heaps of things, and you might get an opportunity to work with them in future and make new friends around the world. Of course, like you will be getting a very good friends once you start moving to, like if you want to do higher studies, you'll be moving to different countries. You will get new friends, and at last, like study is one side, you also need to travel. So if someone is having an exploring travel opportunities, you will get that opportunity without struggling much in terms of documentation. So once you move to that country, you can able to travel around. This is really good for your mental stability, I would say. So it's mainly for there'll be no mental stress once you travel. So this is the very basic outline if you really want to choose the study abroad or if you want to do a higher education. I would recommend higher education is a very good step in the real systems. In the real world, because the technology day to day it's actually expanding to the next level. So we are not using much. In my case, like we are not using any silicon-based materials. We are all using a flexible and stretchable materials where you can just use such a patch and stick it onto your skin, and it automatically sends with respect to the sensing operation. And then like you will be having, and we are actually struggling how to transfer those data from the transmitter to the receiver. In that case, you also need both electronics as well as the computer science engineer, where they can code the program, where they can take their input and they need to transmit their output. It's a big gap where you guys can fill those gaps for the future. And I strongly recommend, if anyone is interested to work on real world applications, you can go ahead for higher education. It has like heaps of opportunities. And the another thing is that it will be different. Like the higher education in abroad is different compared to what you're learning in India. So in India, you get more knowledge during your bachelor's because the academic strength is very high in the Indian-based syllabus. But when you go to abroad, you will pick one topic. So I will show those things, like what are all the courses which are available in each and every country. I think if you take just for data science, they have more than 50 master courses below the data science. So you get a degree master's in data science, but you will be learning heaps of the 3 branches below the data science. And the basic criteria which I would like to share for the students who are interested to choose higher education. It's a very simple documentation process. You don't need to queue a bunch of documentation. Make sure you are having a degree. If you are in the last semester, happy to apply. I will show you some links how to choose the university and how to choose the course. And the second one, if you're going to Europe, IELTS is very important. You need to show English as your first language. Some universities, they will accept just you can provide some letter from the university vice chancellor saying that your first language or your course of instruction is English. The second one, TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language. So if you're going for US, you need to show TOEFL as well as a GRE, the graduate requirement examination. So in that case, you need to put some more efforts in order to get a good score in GRE if you are really focusing on United States. And for Australia, again, IELTS is fine. And the BEC British examination, so in this case, nowadays all the universities are accepting BEC exam also. But I think you need to finish some 2 levels in BEC. So this one is whether you can able to, you're just showing that you know English and you're happy to take the master's course in English. And the third one is a recommendation letter from your own department as well as from the university, and it can be either way. So there are some universities now, they make the recommendation letter confidential. So what they do is that once you submit your application, the link will generate and automatically it will go to your university course coordinator or the head of the department or the vice chancellor, and they have their own link, and then they need to fill about you, and then they will send. So you can't able to see, the students can't able to see the recommendation letter till you get that admission. So that's what the process is. And the fourth one, mini and major projects. So actually this is one of the very beautiful thing which I learned during my bachelor course. So I did heaps of mini projects, like for example, I took electronics course, so I did some robots, weightlifting robots and some robo cars, and then brain tumor detection using image processing. So a few projects I did, those projects supported my application to the next level. So I strongly recommend, if anyone is having any ideas in terms of coding, for example, if you're very good in Python or if you're basic programmer, please focus on doing some mini projects and showing some results, because those are the documentation which fulfill the application process and you will be going to the next level. And the final project is a major project. So make sure you are doing by yourself, because I'm not sure how the course syllabus is, but rather than spending money to the company and buying the projects, I strongly recommend you to do by everyone to do by themselves, so that like you will learn really with good skill sets. Why I'm saying is that because for example, you got some universities in abroad and you want to do masters, it's a zero spoon feeding process. So they won't give any information, and most of the things which you need to learn by yourselves. So that is the reason, if you get a practice doing a major project by yourself or in a group without getting the information from the company, you will learn actually more. Of course, it will be a little bit hard to learn in a short span of time, but nowadays there are heaps of video lectures from MIT, from NPTEL, IIT universities. So go through that one and get some more knowledge in terms of which field you are interested into. If you want to work on big data, or you want to work on data integrity, or you want to work on IoT, so you can choose which one. And the last one is the presentations. So for example, you might have given some paper presentation or project presentation, whatever it is, make sure all the things are documented. So don't think that of course everyone is having the grammatical errors, because when I was doing my bachelor studies, heaps of grammatical errors in my papers. But slowly, it's a learning process. And I strongly recommend, if you're having any paper presentation, feel free to attach them and make sure there's no plagiarism, because nowadays the plagiarism is a big thing in the whole world, and even in India, they are very strict in plagiarism. On the other countries also, don't copy anything from any of the papers or any of from Google. Please do the paraphrase. Do the paraphrasing and then present those information. Right? Yeah. So now I'm entering into the computer science or the computer science technology, what we can do. So see, these are all the areas which you can able to focus which one you want. I'm starting with the smart machines. So nowadays, the cars, the automotive applications, most of them are focusing on the smart machines, which means it's a robotic control. So nowadays, everyone is there using Python and coding the Python with the Raspberry, and they're controlling the system automatically. And the second one is a computer vision. So that corresponds to the computer eye. So it's a smart product again. And the third one is the computer science social technique. So this one, like you will be using some new programming techniques in order to bridge some activities. And fourth one is the data analytics or the computer science analytics. So if you are choosing, if you are good in mathematics or if you are good in information technology or statistics, you can go for analytics. So you will be analyzing the data using some programming techniques. And the mobility and Internet of Things, they are combined. So Internet of Things, I think everyone might know, like, it's completely automated, and the whole world is actually focusing on Internet of Things in various applications. And cybersecurity, Apple, Google, so they are working on the cybersecurity, and it's a big space. If someone interested to work on cybersecurity, you can focus on that, because data security is really, really important in the real-time world, even for future. And pervasive and the software-defined applications. So again, this one is a developing software is on the another field. If you're a very good programmer or the developer, so you can work on software-defined applications. If you're not if you're feeling that you're not comfortable with the developing, you can go with a project-based technician. So in this case, what will happen is that you'll be learning the technique and using the technique and interfacing the developing code with some applications. So that's one area where, even though you are a computer science engineer, so they no need to look. It's not mandatory that you need to be developing a code. So you can just focus on the technique and then use the interface to merge the applications. And the last one is the cloud computing. So I think everyone knows about cloud computing. That's a major field. And now so many researchers, they're working on the 5G technology, and the cloud is one of the base for 5G, and they are still working on it to increase the space and reducing the data in order to have a very good transmission. So they're working on cloud computing. So many institutes, research institutes, they are working on cloud computing, and they are integrating the informatics. So coding, they have the word called informatics, and there are so many applications, like for example bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is one area. It's a very big field where they are analyzing all the data for the bio applications. For example, brain tumor detection, or like for example, and for cancer patients, they collect the data and then they work on statistics, and then like they send the data to the respective company or the respective persons to know the value. And we are all working with zeros and ones, as everyone knows, right? So this is where the big data comes into the picture for specific applications. Like for example, if you take any football game or like cricket game, so the big data plays a major role bridging the data science. So what they do is that, a very simple example, if you take a team, so the two teams are playing, and there are 11 players each, right? So with the substitute. So in this case, what will happen is that, for example, if the team score is 232 and the opponent team is to score in, let's say, in 20-30 overs, with the technology of data science and the big data, they can able to predict whether the team will win or not. So by using the statistical analysis, they can able to define the performance of each and every player as well as the total match outcome. So that's where they are taking the data science and the big data applications for the next trend. So what are the courses can we choose in terms of data science? So I will start with a very basic thing. So in the data science, you have computing and then information technology and branding, web marketing, data mining. So data mining is one area where some industries they are planning to work on it. Like for example, Cisco and Infosys and Accenture, they're mainly working on data mining. And machine learning is the other side in which you'll be using Python-based codes or R codes. In that case, like they can able to integrate the real-time devices with the data. And the another one is like social network as well as the big data probability computing. Of course, if you're working on the machine learning based techniques, so you will be mainly working on the probability based computing, because the probability is one of the basic information or the basic definition in order to achieve the machine learning techniques, because you need to have you will be having like thousands of data, and then you will be using a probability statistical analysis in order to achieve machine learning applications. So I will share the slides, but still, so these are all the areas which you can able to focus if you want to do masters. So masters in data science or masters in data mining, masters in computing. So there are heaps of outline. Yeah. And how to choose the major course. So what I have shown is that like those information is mainly for the divergence of data science. So here, this slide I'm showing what you can choose. So if you're very good in mathematics and statistics, you can choose mathematics-based data science course. Or if you're good in programming, or if you're good in some kind of testing analysis, you can choose computer science based data science course. Or you can even do business consulting in data science. So that's another area where some of my colleagues, they're working on the business consulting based data science. So in that case, you will be combining both the computer science and the business in terms of software development. And if you're good in mathematics as well as the business, in this case, you'll be working on the traditional research. So traditional research in the sense like you will be using similar codes, and then like to define the to define some applications where you can use data science as a baseline, where you can able to define the output of each and every incident. And then integrity terms, defining both computer science technology and the maths and statistics, where they use all these techniques in the machine learning. So that's where they start using the real-time data. For example, the cancer patients, they have some, let's say, for example, if the country is having 5 million cancer patients, so in that case, like you will be having, they can able to monitor how the cancer patients' data starts to increase or starts to reduce, right? So machine learning is one area where they're using mainly for the real-time applications. Like for example, recently a friend of mine, he did a gut microbiome interaction. So in this case, like we will be having brain and gut. So the gut is actually from the stomach part, and then like the brain is connected to all the nerves. So what they do is that we have some mental stress people, as well as some people they are going into coma, and then some people they have a lack of memory. So for those people, they can able to detect how their memory power starts to reducing. So they're using a machine learning technique to define those problems, and it's one of the booming field where people starts to work. So this one I got an information from asoma.de. It's a German company. What they did is that they developed some algorithms and how to bridge the future of data science with the real-time applications. So if you see on the left-hand side, they are the algorithms. So because algorithms are the very base to define the applications. For example, the first one is a massive scale graph, geospatial temporal predictive analysis. So these are the prediction method, hyperfast analytics, embedded deep learning. So it's an interfacing algorithm, natural language generation, structured database generation, cognitive machine and federated learning, and fully automated machine learning. So these are all the algorithms they use to define the data and how they are going to use those data for the real-time applications. For example, cybersecurity, Internet of Things like smart city, Industry 4.0. So Industry 4.0, it's currently they're working on 3D printing, but they're going to integrate with the data science and healthcare, compliance, customer engagement and experience, human capital, data for social good, smart everything. So these are all the applications which all the companies are mainly focusing on. So the students can choose which topic they really like. So I always would recommend choose the course what the students can do, because everyone, I mean, each and everyone can give their own suggestions, but the student know the capability what they can do. And in terms of, so I will show you now some information regards to the how to choose the course, as well as like which link, like for example, if you're choosing Germany or US, so which link you have to use in order to find the right course, as well as the right information for the each course. Right. Can you see my? Oh, okay, that's good. So, can you see my screen like study, research, and teach abroad? Hello.
We can see.
Okay, that will be great. So this is for German education. So DAAD. So this is a German academic exchange service. So in this case, like what you have to do is that like so go to study. So if you go here, study and research in Germany. So in this case, like you will be having find scholarship, study programs and language courses, plan your studies. So I will just show you all courses. And here, for example, let's say for data science, right? So what they are saying, data science in the automotive industry. Let's click that one. And course. Okay, so these are all, so engineering. Okay. So Technical University of Cologne, Data and Information Science, it's a bachelor, right? So now we need to change this to masters. Okay. So they're showing some information like business informatics with a focus on data science and consulting. It's called DataCon. And then masters in data science. It's Potsdam University of Applied Sciences. Let's say if you click here, then it will show you you'll get a MSc in Germany will be considered as MS in India, and then you have 6 semesters. Of course, it's a part-time business learning, but you can also do the full-time. And if you come here, so they have 2 semesters. One is a winter semester, another one is a summer semester. And tuition fees are charged in accordance with the application fee schedule. So mostly the tuition fees are very less. So you'll be paying like around 200 euros per semester for your whole course. So that would cost around like 16,000 to 17,000 Indian rupees per semester. And then Philipps University of Marburg, Darmstadt College, and then this one is Munich University, Berlin University of Technology, University of Potsdam, University of Bielefeld. This is a very good university. So they can show you what are the field of study, main emphasis, data analysis, data mining, statistics, data science. So here they are showing us that B2 level English required. So in this case, like you need to, if you go to the more information on admission process, then it will take you to application and enrollment. And so this will show you all the information, like if you take masters and then like what are the documents you need to do, and then like the basic information, whether you need to take the German course in the university or like how to deal with that. So those informations you will get in this portal, and they have also given the who is the contact details and where to whom. If you have any queries, you can send an email to them, and then you can also drop an email to me, like if you need any information. So this is one part, but I have also seen some scholarships. So this is a German scholarship where you can able to choose any one of it, and then like you can apply for your studies. So that's also one information where you can the information which you will get for your higher education. So now so we have like around 15 minutes time. So we'll have a question session, and then like we can discuss about like how to choose, or if you have any information apart from it, like just let me know. Yeah, we can have a one-to-one discussion. So that would be great.
So am I visible? My video and audio.
Yeah, both are fine. So I'm happy to, like it's your wish. Like both are fine, audio or video.
Sir, I have like a question. So, if how long would it take to adjust to a new environment, sir? So, moving to a different country, there are a lot of things that we learn, like self confidence and such. But how long and how to get comfortable with the new situation, sir?
Okay, so if you're having a very good self confidence and self independent, I mean, if you're independent, then uh, they can able to move around. Normally, it will take a month, but you need to trust the people. So you should not trust everyone. So you need to make sure like you are going in a good way. And the another thing is that like I have seen heaps of students, to be honest, the people from India, the moment you go to abroad, it's a free land. Like, over there, like, no more regulations and stuff. So you need to live by yourself. So, which means that their own personality development will help them how to live. I have seen some students, they have also entered in the wrong way. So that all depends on their own responsibilities. But in abroad, like the security wise, it's really good, and you can able to learn. You can able to adjust the environment in a month.
Thank you, sir. And adding to that question, I would like to also ask, you said plagiarism about research papers, sir. So
Yep.
how can we actually find that whatever idea that we have is actually already written? Or how to get a new idea for research papers, sir? Is there any ways that we can do it?
Okay, so the very easiest way, what I used to do is that you can check the review paper. For example, the recent reviews on data science. If you see for example, I will show you some very basic example. Just, okay, so I will again share the screen.
Sure.
So you have to go to the Google Scholar page, right? And then you just put review on data science and click since 2022, right? So here the current COVID-19 pandemic in China, an overview and corona data analysis. If you click that one, so it will show you a paper, right? Let's click view PDF. And this paper they published in February 2022. It's a very recent paper. So the current COVID-19 pandemic in China. So what you have to do, read the abstract and straight away come down to the conclusion. So if you come to the conclusion, so what they have mentioned is that like some useful tips are provided to prevent this virus to update the people who confirm cases. Finally, the approach of the maximum likelihood estimation utilized to obtain the estimation of APTX viable parameters. The usefulness of this one model is demonstrated by fitting the survival times of the COVID-19 patients in China. It is found that the new model may give the best fit to the current pandemic dynamic events. So they have used APTX viable model, but the next model, so which means that this is the recent model which they have used. So you can work on this one, like that kind of thing. Like you can take any one of the model and then you can search this one. So the easiest way is to get the recent review paper and read the conclusion and abstract. You will get to know the idea, and then you can work on again, and then you can go inside the paper and have a look like which country or sorry, which model supports which information.
Okay, sir.